Okay, good morning, students. So, in the last lecture, we see the physical characteristics or physical parameters of water quality, right? So, today we're going further with this chemical characteristics. So, we're talking about total solids, right? So, total solids, it includes the solid in suspension, colloidal, and in dissolved form, right? So the quantity of suspended solid is determined by filtering the sample through the fine filter, then drying, and then weighing, right? So basically, okay. So basically, quality of dissolved and colloidal solids is determined by evaporating water, right? Evaporating the filtered water, which is obtained from the suspended solid taste, and weighing the residue. So the total solids in a water sample can be directly determined by evaporating the water and weighing the residue, right? So the total permissible solids in water is generally limited to 500 ppm, although the higher amounts up to 1000 ppm are also sometimes permitted, right? Higher amount of total solids are likely to produce psychological effects on a human systems, right? So here, dissolved solids may impart colors, taste, and toxicity or to water. Some of the dissolved organic constituents have been found. The degradation of organic matter may be impart objectionable smell. So they can be removed by terry, territory treatment like reverse osmosis, electrodialysis, uh, distillations, iron exchange process, zeolite process, etc. Right? So second, in that point, the second one is the pH. So pH is defined as a negative logarithm of hydrogen iron concentration in water. So it is a measure of degree of acidity or alkalinity of water, right? It is measured on pH scale, which is varies from 0 to 14, right? So basically for water, public water supplies, the permissible pH value may range between 6.6 to 8.5. So the lower values, which is known as acidic, may cause turbulation and corrosion, and while the higher value, which is present in alkaline, may produce uh, incrustation, sediment deposits, difficulties in chlorinations, etc., etc. Right? Okay. So basically, the pH value, basically the pH value of neutral water is a 7, right? So the pH definition or pH equation is equal to minus log 10 H plus, which means log 10 in bracket 1 divided by H plus. So H plus ion concentration is equal to 10 is to minus 7, right? So if the pH value is equal to 7, then the water is neutral. When the pH is equal to 0 to 7, then the water is acidic. And for pH is equal to 7 to 14, water is alkaline, right? So on the other part, uh, what are the measurement of the pH value, right? So this measurement of pH value is not given in this book, right? But it is present in the Atul publications, right? So Okay, so there are two methods of determining pH values of water. First is chlorimeter method, and second one is electrometric method, right? So we are not concentrating on this both method because these are the experiments, right? So we going forward to the our third is hardness, right? What is the meaning of hardness? So hardness is generally caused by calcium and magnesium ions present in water. So polymer ions of some other metals like iron, manganese, aluminum, zinc, etc. also contribute to the hardness, right? Right. So basically, a hardness of water is defined as the soap destroying properties of water. So it has two types, which is temporary hardness and permanent hardness. Okay. So here, what is the meaning of temporary hardness and permanent hardness? So temporary hardness is due to presence of carbonates and uh, bicarbonates of calcium and manganese. It is also called as a carbonate hardness, right? It can be easily removed by either boiling of water or adding lime to the water. Now talking about permanent hardness. Permanent hardness is due to a presence of sulfates, chlorides, and nitrates of calcium and manganese. It cannot be removed by boiling and requires special method of water softening like zeolite or soda lime process. The permanent hardness is also called a non-carbonate hardness, right? This hardness is measured in milligram per liter of calcium carbonate, which is known as a CaCO3, right? So here, okay. So here we talking about the all the measurement, right? So so Erichrome black tea, an organic indicator dye, forms a sky blue color solution. When this is added to a sample of hard water containing C double plus and Mg double plus ions, which is calcium and manganese, forms a weak violet complex or form a weak wine red complex at pH 10. So this complex, if EDTA, right? So if this added EDTA, so EDTA extracts this calcium and manganese to form stable complex, right? When all the calcium and manganese ions are intrastate, the indicator is totally released in its natural sky blue color at the end point. So the amount of EDTA is a measure of concentration of calcium and manganese iron causing the hardness, right? So, as per the types of hardness, first one is a carbonate hardness, right? And second one is non-carbonate hardness, just CH and NCH. So, carbonate hardness is equal to the total hardness or alkalinity, whichever is lesser, and the non-carbonate hardness is the total hardness in excess of alkalinity, and if the alkalinity is equal to or greater than the total hardness, there is no non-carbonate hardness, right? Okay, so the hardness caused by carbonates and bicarbonates of calcium and manganese, and that can be removed by simply. So there are two definitions given, which is temporary hardness and permanent hardness, as we can talk about earlier, right? So what are the laboratory procedure for determination of hardness? So here some small points are given in a short points, right? So you can easily remember all the points, right, in short forms. So first one is a take 50 ml sample of water with a conical flask. If the sample is turbide, filtered through the filter paper. So dilute the sample. Then add 2 to 3 drops of ammonia buffer. Then add 200 to 200 milligram of Aerochrome black tea indicator. The sample turns violet. Then take EDTA, which means ethyl diamine tetra acetic acid solution in a burette, right? Then titrate the contents again. The EDTA solution till the color of the sample changes from violet to the sky blue. Note down the volume of EDTA required in ml. So these are the very short laboratory procedures which is explained in different points. Okay. So here, what are the significance here? So the hardness has no non-adverse effect on health. However, it plays some role in a heart disease. The presence of calcium hardness is desirable for a health point of view. It causes the formation of scalp, it formation of scale in the boilers and the other heat exchange equipment like hot water pipes, solar system, etc. In boiler, carbonate and bicarbonate will release calcium corrosion. So the hard water is not suitable for domestic uses such as washing, cleaning, and laundering. Hardness is advantageous in the sense that it prevents corrosion in pipes by formating a thin layer of scale and reduce the entry of heavy metals in the pipe of water. So the hard water consumes considerable amount of soap. It is important parameter for determining the suitability of water for drinking purpose and industrial use. So these are the basically laboratory procedures of for determination of hardness and how it will affect or significance of this taste in laboratory, right? So we stop our lecture here.